You know what pisses me off about marketing agencies? It's not the price that they charge you. That number that's on the invoice, that's just the beginning. That's the part that they want you to see. The real cost of hiring an agency is about 3 to 5 times what you're actually paying them. And they know it. They've always known it, but they sure as hell aren't going to tell you about it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chris M. Walker. I run Legiit. I run Superstar SEO. I've built multiple businesses from nothing to 7 and 8 figures. And I'm about to show you every single hidden cost that agencies pray that you never figure out. And this isn't some theoretical BS. This is real. This is what happens when you sign that contract. This is what they don't put in their proposals. This is what the sales guy conveniently forgets to mention. You think you're paying $5,000 a month or something for marketing? Wrong. You're paying 10 grand plus another, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 grand a month in hidden cost. Costs you can't see on a spreadsheet, but costs that don't show up until it's too late. Costs that can literally destroy your business. And before you think I'm exaggerating, let me be clear about something. I've been on every side of this industry. I've hired agencies, I've competed against agencies, I've cleaned up the disasters that agencies leave behind. I've watched good businesses fail because of these hidden costs. The agencies know what they're really costing you. They factor it into their business model. They count on you not figuring it out until you're too deep to get out. It's not an accident. It's not an oversight. It's the plan. Every agency operates the same way. They show you the visible cost, the monthly retainer, the ad spend, maybe some setup fees, but that's like showing you the tip of an iceberg and pretending the rest doesn't exist. The real costs, the ones that actually hurt your business, those are hidden below the surface. And by the time you see them, you're already sinking. Today, I'm going to show you the whole iceberg. Every hidden cost, every sneaky fee, every way agencies extract value from your business while pretending to help it. Look, this isn't about scaring you. This is about arming you with information, because when you know the real cost, you can make better decisions. You can protect your business. You can avoid the trap that thousands of businesses fall into every single year. The information I'm about to share with you, agencies would pay good money to keep it quiet, because once you understand the real cost, their whole business model falls apart. Let's start with what agencies want you to focus on. The obvious cost, the ones they put in their proposals and talk about in sales meetings. First, there's the monthly retainer. This could be anywhere from a few thousand to tens of thousands per month, depending on your business. They'll break it down for you. Account management, strategy, execution, reporting. Makes it seem reasonable, right? Then there's that ad spend, your actual advertising budget. They'll manage this for you, of course, take their percentage, but this is your money going to Google, Facebook, whatever. At least this part actually goes toward advertising. Another thing is setup fees. Setup fees are common. Could be a few $1,000s. They need to onboard you, learn your business, set up your campaigns. That all sounds legitimate, right? And then there's some agencies that charge for extras. Want a new landing page? That's extra. Want additional campaigns? Extra. Want rush delivery? Extra. But at least these are visible. You can see them coming. Those obvious costs, they're designed to seem reasonable. They're designed to be just low enough that you'll say yes, but high enough that the agency makes money. It's calculated, it's purposeful. But here's where it gets interesting. These obvious costs are usually only about 20 to 30% of what you'll actually end up paying. The rest, that's where the hidden costs come in. Hidden costs are different. They don't show up on invoices. They don't get discussed in meetings. They accumulate slowly and visibly until one day you realize you're hemorrhaging money and you don't even know why. Let me break this down for you. When you hire an agency, you're not just paying for their services. You're paying for their inefficiencies. You're paying for their mistakes. You're paying for their learning curve. You're paying for their profit margins on top of profit margins. Think about it this way. When an agency says they'll manage your marketing for $10,000 a month, what are you really getting? You're getting maybe 3 to 5 hours of actual work per month. The person doing that work, they're making a few bucks an hour, maybe as much as $30 an hour if it's not offshore talent. So you're paying $10,000 for maybe $150 worth of actual labor. Where's the rest going? Overhead, sales commissions, owner profits, fancy offices, award submissions, everything except actually marketing your business. But that's just the beginning. The real hidden costs are much worse. They're the opportunities you miss while you're waiting for the agency to deliver. They're the customer you lose because the agency doesn't understand your business. They're the time you waste managing the agency instead of running your business. These hidden costs compound. They build on each other. They create a cascade of problems that gets worse over time. By the time you realize what's happening, you've already lost more than just money. You've lost momentum. You've lost market position. You've lost the chance to build something real, all because you trusted an agency to handle something they were never equipped to handle in the first place. And the worst part, these hidden costs are predictable. They happen to almost every business that hires an agency. It's not bad luck. It's not unique circumstances. It's the natural result of a broken business model. Agencies know these hidden costs exist. They see them every day, but they've built their entire business on you not figuring it out until it's too late, until you're locked into a contract, until you've already spent tens of thousands, until the damage is done. So let's talk about the specific hidden cost. The first one is time, and not just a little time. We're talking about hours and hours every single week that you're never, ever going to get back. When you hire an agency, you think you're buying time. They handle marketing so you can focus on your business, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. You'll spend more time managing the agency than you would have spent doing the marketing yourself. Let me break down where this time goes. First, there's the onboarding. They'll need meetings. They'll need lots of meetings, discovery sessions, strategy sessions, kickoff meetings. Each one is at least an hour, usually 2, and you'll need your key people there. So multiply that time by everyone who has to attend. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 meetings. We're talking about weeks of meetings just to get started. And here's the kicker. Most of what they learn in these meetings, they're gonna forget or ignore or misunderstand. So you're gonna have to explain it all again to them later. And then there's the weekly or monthly check-ins, status meetings, review meetings, strategy meetings, performance reviews. Every agency loves them some meetings. It makes them feel like they're doing something. It makes you feel like something's happening, but nothing's happening. You're just talking about maybe doing something eventually after more meetings. And these scheduled meetings, that's just the beginning. There's also the constant back and forth. They'll need clarification on something. They'll need approval on something else. They'll need assets. They'll need information. They'll need feedback. Every single request means stopping what you're doing, switching context, dealing with their question, then trying to get back to your actual work. This context switching alone can kill your productivity. But wait, it gets worse. Because the agency doesn't actually know your business, they'll get things wrong constantly. So you'll spend hours reviewing their work, correcting their mistakes, explaining why the message doesn't work for your customers, teaching them things they should already know. You become their unpaid trainer, their unpaid quality control, their unpaid strategic advisor. You're literally doing their job for them while paying them to do it. When they screw up, which they will, often, you'll spend even more time doing damage control, apologizing to customers, fixing their mistakes, rebuilding relationships they damaged, cleaning up messes they created. This time cost is massive. If you actually tracked it, if you actually added it up, you'd be shocked. We're talking 20, 30, 40 hours per month, sometimes more. That's a full work week every month just managing the people you hired to save you time. What could you do with the extra 40 hours per month? How many customers could you talk to? How many improvements could you make on your product or service? How many actual revenue generating activities could you complete? But instead, you're sitting in another meeting explaining your business to people who should already understand it. You're reviewing another round of revisions on work that should have been right the first time. You're answering another email asking for information that they already have. This is time you'll never get back. Time that could have been spent growing your business. Time that could have been spent with your family. Time that could have been spent on literally anything more productive than managing an agency that's supposed to be managing your marketing. Here's the really insidious part. Agencies count on this time sink. They know that the more time you invest in working with them, the less likely you are to leave. It's the sunk cost fallacy in action. You've already spent so much time getting them up to speed, you don't want to start over with someone else. So you stick with them, even though they're wasting your time, even though they're not delivering results, even though every hour you spend managing them is an hour stolen from your business growth. The second hidden cost is even more devastating than time. It's opportunity cost. The money you don't make because the agency is moving too slowly, thinking too small, are just plain getting it wrong. When you hire an agency, you're not just paying them to do marketing. You're trusting them with your growth. You're counting on them to capture opportunities in the market. But what actually happens? They kill those opportunities before you even know they existed. Agencies move slowly, glacially slowly. What should take days takes weeks. What should take weeks takes months. And in business, speed matters. The market doesn't wait for your agency to get their act together. Think about it. You see an opportunity, maybe a competitor stumbles, maybe a new trend emerges, maybe you discover an untapped market segment. You need to move fast. You need to capitalize now, but you can't because everything has to go through the agency. The agency has a process. First, they need to discuss it internally. Then they need to develop a strategy. Then they need to get approval from their creative director. Then they need to get a proposal for you. Then you need to approve the proposal. Then you need to schedule the work. Then they need to actually do the work. Then they need your approval on the work. Then maybe finally something actually happens. By then, the opportunity is gone. Your competitor already captured it. The trend already passed. The market already moved on. You missed it because your agency couldn't move fast enough. This happens constantly. Every single day, there are opportunities in your market, opportunities to reach new customers, opportunities to test new messages, opportunities to try new channels, but you'll miss most of them because agencies aren't built for speed. They're built for process, for bureaucracy, for covering their ass, for not capturing opportunities when they present themselves. And it's not just about speed, it's also about vision. Agencies think small in terms of campaigns and quarters. They don't think about building real competitive advantages. They don't think about dominating markets. They don't think about exponential growth. And why would they? If you grow too fast, you might not need them anymore. If you get too successful, you might bring marketing in-house. Their incentive is to keep you growing just enough to stay happy, but not so much that you outgrow them. They'll recommend safe strategies, proven tactics, things that work well enough, but won't really move the needle. They'll never push you to take the calculated risks that create real growth. They'll never encourage you to be bold. Meanwhile, your competitors who are running their own marketing or working with specialists, they're moving fast. They're testing aggressively. They're capturing market share while you're waiting for your agency to finish their presentation deck. Let me give you a real world perspective on this. In the time it takes an agency to launch one campaign, a business running their own marketing could have tested 10 different approaches, found what works, scaled it, and already be generating revenue. But the opportunity cost goes even deeper because agencies don't really understand your business. They miss opportunities that should be obvious. They don't see the connections between your product and market needs. They don't understand your customers well enough to spot new segments. They don't know your industry well enough to anticipate trends. You're paying them to be your marketing experts, but they're really just executing a playbook. The same playbook that they use for every client. A playbook that might have worked 5 years ago, but is obsolete now. How much is this costing you? It's impossible to calculate exactly, but think about it this way. If proper marketing could grow your business by 50% per year, but agency marketing only grows it by 10%, you're losing 40% growth every single year. Compound that over time, and we're talking about millions in lost revenue. That's not an exaggeration, that's math. The opportunity cost of working with an agency isn't just significant, it's catastrophic. It's the difference between building a real business and barely surviving. The third hidden cost is what I call the lock-in cost. The price you pay for being trapped in a relationship that isn't working. When you sign with an agency, you're not just signing a contract, you're putting golden handcuffs on your business. And those handcuffs get tighter every month. First, there's the contract itself, 12 months minimum, sometimes 24, with automatic renewals if you don't cancel with enough notice, and cancellation penalties if you try to leave early. Think about what this really means. You're committing to pay them for a year regardless of results. If they fail in month 1, you still owe them 11 more months of payments. If they actively harm your business, you still owe them. If they do literally nothing, you still owe them. That's not a business relationship. That's a hostage situation. But the contract is just the beginning of the lock-in. The real trap is much more subtle. Everything the agency creates while you're paying them, they own it. Your campaigns, your creative assets, your strategies, your data, it's all theirs. You're paying them to build assets that they own. If you leave, you lose access to everything. Think about how insane that is. You paid for it. It's your business, your customers, your market, but the agency owns the work. It's like paying someone to build you a house and then finding out they own the house. So even if you want to leave, even if they're failing, you can't. Because leaving means starting from zero. New campaigns, new creative, new everything. And that costs money and time you don't have. But wait, it gets worse. The agency also controls your relationships with platforms and vendors. Your Google Ads account, it's under their manager account. Your Facebook Business Manager, they control it. Your email marketing platform, set up through their partner account. If you leave, you don't just lose the campaigns, you might lose the accounts themselves, or have to fight to get them transferred, or discover that the agency partner kickbacks you didn't know about, and now you have to pay full price, and so on. And then there's the knowledge lock-in. Because the agency handles everything, you and your team don't learn anything. You don't know how your campaigns work. You don't know what's actually driving results. You don't know how to replicate what's working or fix what's broken. You become completely dependent on them, which is exactly what they want. A dependent client is a client who can't leave, even if they want to, even if they should. The dependency creates a cascade of cost. You can't make quick changes because only the agency knows how. You can't test new ideas because only the agency has access. You can't even see your own data because it's in their dashboards. Every month you stay with them, the lock-in gets worse. Most of your marketing infrastructure depends on them. Most of your institutional knowledge resides with them. More of your business's growth potential is controlled by them. And when you finally do leave, because eventually most businesses do, the cost is astronomical. Not just the penalty fees, not just rebuilding everything from scratch, but the months of disrupted marketing while you transition. The lost momentum, the confused customers, the wasted time. Some businesses never recover from leaving an agency. They spend so much time and money trying to rebuild what they've lost that they run out of resources. The agency just didn't fail to help them grow, it actively contributed to their failure. This is the most sinister hidden cost because it compounds over time. Every month you stay, it gets more expensive to leave. Every month you wait, the trap gets tighter until eventually you're not staying because they're good. You're staying because leaving would be worse. That's not a partnership. That's not even a service relationship. That's exploitation. And it's how most agencies operate. The fourth hidden cost might be the most painful, the cleanup cost. The price you pay to fix everything the agency broke. When an agency fails, they don't just fail to deliver results. They often actively damage your business. And cleaning up the damage? That's expensive. Sometimes more expensive than what you paid the agency in the first place. Let's start with the obvious damage. Bad campaigns that hurt your brand. Tone-deaf messaging that offends customers. Poor targeting that wastes money. Low-quality creative that makes you look amateur. Every bad campaign needs to be fixed. Every wrong message needs to be corrected. Every wasted dollar needs to be re-earned. And that takes time, money, and effort you shouldn't have to spend. The obvious damage is just the beginning. The real cleanup costs come from the systematic problems agencies create. They'll burn through your ad accounts. They'll get you flagged by platforms, tank your quality scores, destroy your sender reputation. These aren't just minor issues. These are foundational problems that can take months or years to fix. Your Google Ads account gets suspended because they did something shady. Good luck getting it back. Could take months. Meanwhile, you can't run ads. You're losing customers every day, and your competitors, they're eating your lunch. Your email domain gets blacklisted because they bought a crap list. Now none of your emails get delivered. Not just marketing emails, all emails. Your business communication is basically broken. Your social media accounts get shadow banned because they use bots. Your organic reach drops to zero. Years of community building wasted. You have to start over from scratch. And then there's the relationship damage. Agencies will burn bridges you didn't even know existed. They'll annoy journalists you might want to pitch later. They'll spam influencers you might want to partner with. They'll irritate customers you're trying to retain. Every burned bridge needs to be rebuilt. Every damaged relationship needs to be repaired. And some of them, they're gone forever. You'll never get them back. The data mess is another nightmare. Agencies love to complicate things. They'll set up 17 different tracking codes, create multiple analytics properties, build elaborate attribution models that don't actually work. And when they leave, you're left with a data nightmare. Nothing connects properly. You can't track conversions. You don't know what's working. You're basically flying blind until you can untangle the mess they created. And good luck finding someone to fix it. Most people don't want to clean up another agency's mess. It's thankless work, it's complicated, it's time consuming, so you'll pay premium prices to anyone that's willing to help, assuming they aren't just another scummy agency to begin with. And then the worst cleanup cost, it's their strategic damage. The opportunities you missed, the wrong directions you pursued, the time you wasted on strategies that never had a chance of working. You can't get that time back. You can't recapture those opportunities. You can't undo those strategic mistakes. You just have to live with them and try to recover as best you can. Some businesses spend years recovering from agency damage, years rebuilding what was broken, years trying to get back where they were before they hired an agency. Not growing, not progressing, just trying to get back to zero. And during all this cleanup, you still need marketing. Your business still needs to grow. Your competitors aren't waiting for you to fix your problems. So you're trying to repair the damage while also moving forward. It's like trying to rebuild a plane while you're flying it. That total cleanup cost, it varies, but it's almost always more than you expect. Could be tens of thousands, could be hundreds of thousands, could be the difference between business success and failure. And here's the kicker. Agencies know they leave messes behind. They see it with every client they lose, but they don't care. By the time you're cleaning up their mess, they've moved on to the next victim. Your problems aren't their problems anymore. Now let's add it all up. Let's calculate what agencies really cost you when you include all the hidden costs. Start with the obvious cost. Let's say you're paying an agency $10,000 per month. Pretty standard for a medium-sized business. Add in your ad spend, maybe another $10,000, some setup fees, maybe $5,000 up front. Over a year, you're looking at about, $230,000, $45,000, whatever it is in direct cost. That's what shows up on your profit and loss statement. That's what you budget for. That's what you think you're paying. Now let's add the hidden costs. Time cost. You and your team spending 40 hours per month managing the agency at a conservative $100 per hour for your time. That's $4,000 per month, $48,000 per year. Opportunity cost. This is harder to calculate exactly, but let's be conservative. Say proper marketing could grow your business by 50%. The agency only delivers 10%. On $1 million business, that's $400,000 in lost growth per year. Lock-in cost. Contract penalties, rebuilding costs, lost momentum during transition. Conservatively, $50,000. Could be much worse. Cleanup cost. Fixing what they broke, rebuilding what they damaged, recovering from their mistakes. Another $50,000 minimum. Often much more. Add it all up, $245,000 in direct costs, plus $48,000 in time costs, plus $400,000 in opportunity costs, plus $50,000 in lock-in costs, plus $50,000 in cleanup costs. Total real cost is $793,000 for a $10,000 per month agency. Nearly $800,000 of total cost for what you thought would be $245,000. That's more than triple, and I'm being conservative with these numbers. The real cost, it's often much higher. But it gets worse when you think about it over time. These costs compound. The opportunity costs grow exponentially. The cleanup costs multiply. The strategic damage accumulates. Over 3 years, you could be looking at millions in total costs. Millions that could have been invested in growing your business. Millions that could have been used to hire great people. Millions that could have gone to your bottom line. This is why so many businesses fail after hiring agencies. It's not just that agencies don't deliver results, it's that the total cost of working with them literally bankrupts the business. Not immediately, not obviously, but slowly, invisibly, and inevitably. And remember, I'm using conservative numbers here. $10,000 per month is on the low end for agencies. Many charge $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 per month, and multiply all those hidden costs accordingly. A $50,000 per month agency, you're looking at nearly $4 million in real cost per year. $4 million for marketing that probably doesn't even work. This is the math that agencies don't want you to do. This is the calculation they pray you never make. Because once you see the real numbers, once you understand the true cost, the entire business model falls apart. No business can afford these hidden costs. No business can sustain this level of waste. No business can grow when this much value is being extracted. Yet thousands of businesses sign with agencies every month. They see the surface costs and think they can afford it. They don't see the iceberg underneath until they're already sinking. So what's the alternative? How do you get marketing done without falling into the agency trap and paying all these hidden costs? First, let me be clear about something. You need marketing. Every business needs marketing. The question isn't whether to do marketing, it's how to do it without getting destroyed by hidden costs. Option 1, hire a specialist directly. Not an agency that claims to do everything, but individual specialists who are excellent at one thing. Need Facebook ads? Hire someone who only does Facebook ads. Lives and breathes them. Knows every update, every strategy, every optimization technique, and so on. Need SEO? Hire an SEO specialist. Someone who wakes up thinking about search rankings and goes to bed dreaming about backlinks. Need content? Hire a writer who actually understands your industry. Not someone writing about healthcare on Monday and cryptocurrency on Tuesday. These specialists cost less than agencies and deliver better results. Why? Because they're focused. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. They're world-class at their one thing. And here's the key. You can hire them project by project. No long-term contracts, no massive retainers, just specific work for specific pay. If they deliver, you hire them again. If they don't, you find someone else. This is exactly why I built Legiit. Among other things, it's a marketplace where you can find these specialists, see their reviews, see their previous work, and hire them for exactly what you need. No contracts, no BS, just results for money. Option 2 is build a small in-house team. Instead of paying an agency $50,000 per month, hire 2 good marketers for $20,000 per month total. They'll work full-time just for you, they'll learn your business, and they'll become experts in your market. The math is simple. An agency giving you maybe 5 hours of work per month for $50,000, or 2 full-time people giving you 320 hours per month for $20,000. It's not even close. Option 3 is learn the basics yourself. I know you're busy. I know you didn't start a business to become a marketer, but understanding the fundamentals protects you from getting scammed. You don't need to become an expert. You need to know enough to make informed decisions, enough to spot BS, enough to know like when someone's taking advantage of you and when someone is legit. There's free education everywhere, YouTube, blogs, podcasts. I mean, hell, I give away tons of information on this channel alone. And that's not to sell you something, but it's because I believe that business owners should understand this stuff. And then there's option 4, the hybrid approach. Learn the strategy for yourself and hire specialists for execution. That way you understand what needs to be done and why, and the specialists can handle the technical implementation. This gives you control without requiring you to do everything yourself. You're the strategic brain, they're the tactical hands. It works because you maintain ownership of the strategy while leveraging expertise for execution. The key with all these alternatives though, there's no hidden costs. When you hire a specialist for $5,000, you pay $5,000. When you hire an employee for $10,000, you pay $10,000 plus normal employment costs that you can calculate. No time vampires, no opportunity assassins, no golden handcuffs, no disaster cleanup, just straight exchange of money for work. You know, the way capitalism's supposed to work. That's how businesses should work, really. That's how every other part of your business works. Marketing should not be different. If you're currently working with an agency, here's exactly what you need to do to escape the hidden costs. Step 1, calculate your real costs right now, today. Add up everything, the retainer, the ad spend, this time you spend managing them, the opportunities you've missed, all of it, everything. Be honest with yourself. How much is this really costing you? Not just in money, but in time, energy, and opportunity and growth. Write the number down, look at it, let it sink in. Step 2, document everything. Every promise they made, every result they delivered or failed to deliver, every hour you've spent managing them, every problem they've created. The documentation serves 2 purposes. First, it helps you see the pattern. Second, it's ammunition if you need to break your contract. Step 3, review your contract carefully. Find the termination clause, find the notice period, find the penalties. Know exactly what it will cost you to leave and when you can do it. Most contracts have loopholes, non-performance clauses, material breach provisions. Find them. You might be able to leave without penalties if you can prove they haven't delivered what they promised. Step 4, start building your alternative now. Don't wait until after you fire the agency. Start identifying specialists, start learning the basics, start building your plan. The worst time to look for marketing help is when you desperately need it. That's how you end up with another bad agency. Build your alternative while you still have time to be selective. Step 5, have the conversation. Once you know your costs, have your documentation, understand your contract, and have an alternative ready and talk to the agency. Don't be emotional, be factual. Show them the numbers, show them the failures, tell them this isn't working and that you need to part ways. Many agencies will let you out of contracts rather than risk bad reviews or legal issues. They don't want unhappy clients talking about them online. If you approach it professionally, they'll often agree to part ways. Step 6, if they won't let you leave, minimize the damage. Stop giving them new projects. Stop attending unnecessary meetings. Stop wasting time on their BS. Do the minimum required by your contract while you wait it out. That's not our ideal situation, but it is what it is. And if you haven't hired an agency just yet, but you're thinking about it, don't. Just don't. The hidden costs aren't worth it. The risk isn't worth it. The damage isn't worth it. Instead, take the money and invest it in real marketing capabilities. Hire specialists, build a team, learn the skills, create systems, own your marketing instead of renting it from an agency that doesn't care about your success. Your business deserves better than hidden costs and broken promises. Your growth deserves better than being held hostage by agency contract. Your future deserves better than being limited by someone else's incompetence. Take control, take ownership, take action. The hidden cost of agencies have destroyed too many good businesses, so don't let yours be next. And before we wrap up, I want to address something. Some of you are thinking, okay, Chris, I get it. Agencies have hidden costs. What if I just don't want to do marketing at all? That's not an option. The cost of not marketing is even higher than the hidden cost of agencies. Markets don't stand still. Competitors don't wait. Customers don't find you by accident. The difference is that when you don't do marketing, you know you're falling behind. It's obvious. You can see it happening. When you hire an agency, you think you're moving forward, but you're actually falling behind while paying for the privilege. That's what makes agency hidden costs so dangerous. They create the illusion of progress while actually causing decline. You're spending money to lose ground. You're investing in your own failure. Look, I've been tough on agencies in this video, and that's because they deserve it. The agency model is broken. It extracts value instead of creating it. It prioritizes agency profit over client success. It's designed to trap businesses, not help them grow. But I also understand why businesses hire agencies. You're busy, you're overwhelmed, marketing seems complicated, and agencies promise to handle everything. It's tempting. I've fallen into that trap myself. I get it, I really do. I've hired multiple agencies because I wanted someone else to focus on the marketing so I could focus on what I'm good at. That's just not how business works. You can't outsource your growth to someone who doesn't care about your success. Marketing's too important to hand over to an agency that doesn't care. It's how you reach customers, it's how you generate revenue, it's how you build your future. You can't give that responsibility to someone whose only goal is to extract maximum fees for minimum work. The real cost of hidden agency cost isn't just financial. It's the businesses that fail, the dreams that die, the entrepreneurs who give up because they trusted the wrong people with their growth. Every day I see businesses struggling because an agency drained their resources and delivered nothing. Every day I talk to entrepreneurs who are starting over because an agency destroyed what they built. Every day I clean up messes that never should have existed. That's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I built Legiit. That's why I create content like this. Someone needs to tell the truth about agencies. Someone needs to warn businesses about the hidden costs. Someone needs to show you there's a better way. You don't need agencies. You never did. You need good people doing good work for fair prices. You need transparency. You need accountability. You need partners who care about your success, not parasites that feed off your hope. The hidden costs I've shown you today, they're real. They're happening to thousands of businesses right now, but they don't have to happen to you. You have the information, you have the knowledge, you have the power to make better decisions, to avoid the traps, to escape the hidden costs, to build your businesses without the agency tax. Take this information and use it. Share it with other business owners. Warn them about the hidden cost. Help them avoid the mistakes that destroy businesses. Because together we can kill the broken agency model. We can create a better way of doing marketing. We can build businesses that thrive instead of just survive. That's the future I'm working towards. That's the future Legiit is building. That's the future your business deserves. No more hidden costs and no more agency BS. No more paying to fail. Just real marketing that delivers real results for real businesses. That's it. That's the truth about hidden costs of hiring an agency. Now you know. What you do with this information is totally up to you.